Mash Max was the turnout of my lifestyle. Smoking green, blowing white clouds to fill the blue skies. Conversating with the gods by my wildflower to let them know that it's the God's hour. This love's the never-ending saga. Gods by my wildflower to let them know that it's the God's hour. This love's the never-ending saga. Gods by my wildflower to let them know that it's the God's hour. This love's the never-ending saga. Gods by my wildflower to let them know that it's the God's hour. This love's the never-ending saga. Walk through the sands of times like Gara. On the other side of that gad is karma. You wet Prada, the devil like inside your box now. While the angels fly over my headstone.
We are back with another episode of the God's Hour podcast with your boy Big Serbs, back in the place to be, La Merca Superior, Palace 81 Studios, live in full effect. Número 43. 43. I can't even fucking talk over here, but yeah. Over the weekend. Well, before the weekend, my mom got sick. She got the vid, so we're over here quarantining. She's supposed to be quarantining now, but she decided to come out and let the virus loose, so that's why I'm quarantining myself in my room while she's talking in the background, interrupting the podcast. And basically, over the weekend, it was Dino Community Day, and I had a lot of fun, bruh. It was cool just being out in the mall again, like I always do. Catching them little dinosaurus critters, the shinies, Pokemon. It was a great day for Pokemon. And me and my pop, we started watching Stranger Things. Stranger Things was one of those shows that I could have watched from the very beginning, but I didn't. It just seemed kind of weird for me. Like anything that involves like kids is kind of like, I don't know. I stopped watching cartoons a very long time ago. Anything with kids, especially now, is kind of, you know, I don't really see the shit in it. But we started watching Stranger Things, and from the first episode, it was really good. It wasn't like a lot of other shows where it starts really slow because they're trying to set everything up, the characters, the plots, the side plots, like everything. It wasn't. It was like that, but it just got to it, and that's what I really appreciated about the show. It was like really fast paced. It just brought you in. This happens, that happens, this is this character, this is what it is. And over the course, we watched like the whole first season and like half of the second season. But over the course of the first season, it was really good character development and plot development. Usually with other shows like Breaking Bad or Ozark, it's kind of like this really slow moving plot direction, versus in Stranger Things it's kind of, it makes sense, like it goes in order, like 1, 2, 3, versus it kind of bleeds together slowly in the other shows. And I'm digging it, man. I really like Stranger Things. I'm super late. I already know. I know they dropped the 4th season, so we're probably gonna watch the rest of the series soon. So I just thought it was really cool because you don't really see like good child actors, like kids. I don't know, like True Grit was a really good movie, but that was a movie, you know what I mean, where it was like the girl, she's a teenager, she's looking for like vengeance or retribution against the people who, like, I think killed her father or something like that. But I don't remember the last time. I mean, there's shows out there with kids in them, like I think Gentrified or whatever that show is. I know the On the Block or On My Block is another one. But a lot of those shows, or maybe those shows in particular, talk about like our like the raza, and I feel like it's just not in a good light, in my opinion. I feel like a lot of like racial things are said in maybe one or two of these shows that I don't really dig. You know, it's kind of like, why do we have to be racial about certain shit when you don't need to be? I mean, that's just my opinion. I'm not here to watch my peoples be insulted with derogatory words or language. You know, I kind of just want to watch a show, be entertained, and enjoy it. I don't want to have to think about, well, fuck this show because it's like disrespectful. You know what I mean? Beyonce's dropping a new album. I think it's called Renaissance Act 1. I'm just going off the top of the head right now. I'm pretty sure that's what the album is. I want to listen to the single. I haven't listened to it yet. But pretty much every time Beyonce drops a new album, you already know it's going to be fire. I mean, Lemonade was a pretty fire album. I remember one of my teachers back in high school, she loved it. She raved about how it was like about empowering women and calling men out for certain things. And just, there wasn't really a woman at that time speaking for the women in terms of respect and being held in a certain light. Even now, like the women rappers and stuff like that don't really talk about things pertaining to holding women in like the highest of manners, because, you know, you have Megan Thee Stallion always talking about, or Cardi B always talking about, you know, they ass or they pussy or whatever, and it's kind of redundant. Like the same way like that gangster shit is redundant in the music, is the same way that other shit is the women talking about their bodies is redundant. Now, I mean, Lotto says some cool stuff. She talks about like you know, they all kind of talk about like not all of them, but I hear a lot of women talking about how they don't need men, or they could like just punk men, which is like cool. If you want to talk about that, that's all right with me. But I feel like Beyonce and her new album, she's got, you know, Beyonce, her last album was probably what, like 6 years ago, right? When I was still in school. So that's really cool for Beyonce to come out with a new album. Before, her album was like it was Lemonade. It was like her like in yellow. There was a big yellow theme, big Oshun theme. I really dig that. Maybe this time I see her all in black, so maybe it's about Oya. I don't know. I'll definitely be listening to that album because that's my santo, you know what I mean? My santa. Drake's new album, on the other hand, is some of the most trash music I've ever heard. And artists, they do this loophole shit all the time, where especially with Drake too, where it won't be an album, it'll be a mixtape. Remember, if you're reading this, it's too late. It wasn't an album, it was a mixtape. So therefore, it was like the highest stream, the most sold mixtape or whatever in 2014. Then he came out with More Life. It wasn't an album, it was a playlist. It was the most streamed playlist or whatever. Now, he don't even have a rap album anymore. It's a dance album, bruh. And this Afrobeat shit that he's trying to hit Bad Bunny's market with is just not gonna happen, bruh. I mean, Bad Bunny, he has that. It's more like reggaeton, like a new school reggaeton style that Bad Bunny's doing, versus Drake is straight, and he's still doing that singy, songy, croony shit over these Afro beats. I don't like them, but the last 2 songs were fire. And this is what I'm talking about. You can't name your dance, it's like it's a dance album, and the last 2 tracks is real like, and I love that shit, but it's just like, you go from Afrobeat dancey, if you call it dance, to fucking this trap shit. I don't see how, you know, music, the lines of music are like really blurred now, and artists could pretty much call they shit, do they shit, whatever they want, and it's just gonna sell, especially if they're a mega superstar. You know, you see the rollout with Drake shit where he just drops it out of nowhere, versus Beyonce. Beyonce has the power to get all her fans, all the world ready for her album by just announcing it was like a huge thing, like a huge, like that's an old school rollout where you would announce it months in advance. You would get people ready. People would be excited talking about it like I am now. By the time it would come out, it would be a really like big thing, and that's how you would garnish record sales. But now everyone wants to do loophole, tricky shit with their music, with the rollout, with the marketing, and I don't know. And Drake said to catch up. Catch up to what, bruh? You the one who needs to catch up to the music, bro. That's the problem with artists. They want to talk about marketing. They want to focus on aesthetic. They want to focus on being in the studio, clout. They want to focus on Instagram or all this other social media or all these other things that don't have nothing to do with their music. Their music, you could tell, you listen to it and you're like, yeah, you focused on the music last. When I do my music, I'm thinking music first. What is it gonna sound like? What am I saying? What is the listener gonna be interpreting as I'm talking about my album? I could worry about all the other shit last. Whoever you gotta plug your album to, give your album to, put them on whatever platform. All that shit is thought about last. I don't have a PR team. I don't have no marketing team. So for me, it's all about getting the music done first. And all the other shit that I don't care for is gonna come last. Because that's not my department. My department isn't marketing. My whole focus isn't on anything but the music. And you could tell with some of these artists' music, you're like, you thought about everything but what you were gonna say. I hear it a lot in a lot of these music, in the music, man, that I'm listening to. Not all of it, but some of the music that I'm listening to, you could just tell it's like, you're not focused on your lyrics. You're not focused on your sound. You're not focused on what sonically you're trying to give to the listener. And I'm listening to it. If I'm listening to it thinking that, I'm not the only one, bro. Like, and trust me. And to say catch up, like if somehow we're lost or fucking we're too stupid to understand the album, it's kind of lame. Like, Drake is really doing some sucker shit right now. He says that's some sucker shit right there, bro. You come from the, working with T.I. You come from if you want to go to war with Pusha T, you have to come from some school of, I got to make good music. And to insult the listener by saying you got to catch up, it's fucking lame, bro. You're not some underground artist who has been doing music for years that people, have to adjust their ears to listen to because they're just so used to all this other bullshit on the radio, what they're fed to by the advertisers. Or it's really hard nowadays to listen to great music or great artists that aren't mainstream or known in popular circumstances, bro. It's kind of like sad, you know what I mean? Because unless you're standing next to a big artist, you're not gonna get any views or garnish any sort of reputation, because people just want to stand next to, they want to stand next to Q-Tip, they want to stand next to Busta Rhymes, they want to stand next to Joe Schmo, who did another record with Joe Schmo, who did a fucking record with, Jay Dilla or whoever, or you know what I mean? There's a lot of loophole shit going on in the industry that has nothing to do with the music. So that's kind of what I'm trying to get at with this album. I don't like this album. They were playing that shit at work. I really didn't like it. And if I could give Drake some advice, man, just I'm not saying not do Afrobeat, and I'm not saying not do dance music. I'm saying focus on the music and really pay attention to what you're doing, because if it's like McDonald's, you're just making McDoubles and McNuggets and people just eat it up and you make the same shit, it's not gonna work. Came out with One Dance. One Dance was like a super grenade in the it was like hitting the listeners over the head, because you had been going down this road of I'm the best, and fucking I could get any bitch I want, but then you simp on bitches, And then that one dance came out of nowhere. So I don't know if he's really Jamaican, but he really needs to get in his dance hall bag. I feel like Drake should, instead of doing a dance Afrobeat album, he really should have did a dance hall album. And I would have listened to it. I would have loved coming here to talk about a dance hall album. Drake should be working with Sean Paul, Super Cat. Rest in peace, Nico Demis. Get with his people. I mean, there's a lot of artists that Drake could tap into and make some really dope shit, in my opinion. Me and my pop finished watching the Obi Wan Kenobi series, and let me just say, this was one of the best shows I've ever watched pertaining to Star Wars. I mean, we got Boba Fett, which was cool, but it was kind of like, eh. We had Mandalorian, which was really good, and we have Obi Wan Kenobi. I've never watched any of the cartoon ones, like the Clone Wars or the Rebels or the whatever they have out there. I haven't watched them yet, but Obi Wan Kenobi as a series was really good. Really bridges the gap between Revenge of the Sith, the third movie, and A New Hope, the fourth original Star Wars movie. And it was really cool seeing Ewan McGregor back. It was awesome seeing what's-his-face, the original Darth Vader, Anakin Skywalker, back. I'm trying to remember. I forgot his name, but he was in Sons of Anarchy. He's the dude who plays Leia's father, adopted father. It was a really good show. You know, it shows Obi-Wan. A spoiler alert. Obi-Wan, he's in hiding. He's on the low key, working somewhere. The Empire comes looking for Jedi because this is after Order 66. So they're trying to get Obi-Wan and all the other Jedi who left and survived. Obi-Wan gets in a deep shit. And then, Princess Leia, she's a kid. Luke Skywalker, he's a kid during these events. I really want them to do another like a season 2 where it brings them further, like, because I haven't seen Rogue One, so I want them to kind of connect it to Rogue One, if they do a second season, Rogue One to A New Hope, because I've heard that Rogue One directly goes into A New Hope. So if they bridge the first season with Rogue One, I think that'll be really cool, because I haven't seen Rogue One, so maybe I'll come back and talk about Rogue One with Obi-Wan Kenobi. It was a dope show, bro. Whenever I watch Star Wars, I don't want to be watching the same shit, which is kind of what the first 3 Star Wars movies, they were all prequels, so they all have to lead up to 4, 5, and 6, which kind of gets redundant. It kind of gets boring, you know what I mean? I like watching it. There's action. It's like a really good film just to watch, but as someone who likes to be entertained and seeing different, like a good balance of a TV show that has the plot, the themes, the action, the drama, the character development, it kind of gets a little stale, a little 1, 2, 3, simple, basic shit. And Obi-Wan Kenobi, the show, it kind of wasn't really like that. It was more so a new storyline. So it was just refreshing for that. That's what I like to see. New Star Wars content, new ideas being brought to the story, because I really want to know. I really want them to do movies and shows about the Old Republic, and do like a Knights of the Old Republic show or movie, because I think that would be really entertaining. I've seen, like, the only way you could see the story is through the games, and even the games make it really dope. Like the way they set it up, they tell the stories through the games are really tight. Obi-Wan Kenobi, as far as a whole series, I'll give it like a 8.5, 8.5. It was really cool seeing Star Wars back in a new light with the original characters. And it was just a good show, man. If you haven't seen it, go see it. And it made me interested in watching the rest of the Star Wars series, Rogue One, the games, Fallen Order. I never played those, Battlefront. So it brought me a whole new love for the Star Wars series. And I think that's really good. Anytime you can make content and bring your fans back into a new back into your content and a fresher perspective and like a newfound love. I think it's really dope. So shout out to what's his name, George Lucas. I know last week on the podcast I talked about Makami, and I'm sure he doesn't really. I mean, I don't know how he feels. I can't speak for other people, but, you know, I talked about him like a few times already, but, you know, I'm just trying to squash like all this beef shit that I have with other artists, because I feel like I was I was unjustly targeted in some of my career. Like, it's just some aspects of my career, and you know, I'm not gonna make it seem like I'm the victim. You know, I played ball. You know, anyone who wanted to play ball with me, I played ball. You know what I'm saying? From the homies to the competition to the enemy guys, it doesn't matter to me. I just feel like when you personally try to attack me, that's always where I kind of get a little crazy. And I felt like, you know, I had to stand up for my family, bruh. And I feel like that's all it was with your old Droog. And I mean, it wasn't even him. It was like LP. Honestly, the whole shit kind of snowballed from me not liking the way LP was saying some shit on whatever song that was on your old Droog's album. And to be honest, man, I fuck with your old Droog too, man. He really influenced me. I remember when the Your Old Droog LP wasn't even out. It was the EP, and I really dug that. Then the LP came out, and it was really dope. You know, I got love for Fahim, the God Fahim. So there's really no problems, bruh. And I'm really trying to publicly squash this shit, because I feel like it's my duty as a just like as a stand-up person to kind of shed these things in the light, because the listeners aren't going to put it together. Or if I do tell some of these people, which I already have, they're going to be like, oh, like, what the fuck? Like, what are you even talking about? So I'm just going to, you know, say my piece on the podcast, on the show, like I always do. I'm done with that. You know, I had some shit with Big Ghost, was super unnecessary shit. I don't even know where it started from. I think he came out with The Ghost of Living, and then the album with Vic Spencer, right? That's his name. I'm not trying to disrespect. I'm just off the top of my head right here. But I know they came out with The Ghost of Living, and I had a song called The Ghost of Van Gogh. I don't know if that's where it started from, but shout out to Big Ghost, man. I've been listening to Griselda Ghost. I think it's a really, really dope project. Big Ghost, he never made music. He was always a blogger before, but now he produces and he has his own orchestra or whatever the fuck's going on with him. So shout out to him, bruh. And I'm just trying to squash all this shit with everybody, man. I don't know. You know, even with my cousin, even with Chava, like, I don't want them to feel like, I don't want anybody to feel like I'm trying to like maliciously move in certain manners, because that's corny, bruh. Like, you can't walk around like Suge Knight, bruh. Like you like, where's Suge now, bro? Nigga's like 50, he's old as fuck, and he's like, he got like 30 years to do, bro. He's gonna like pretty much, if he's not gonna pass in prison, he's gonna come out of prison and pass away, which is like what nobody wants. It's not what I want for anybody. It's not what I wish to be doing. So let's just squash the shit, man. I'm just publicly trying, and even Flash, like, I know me and Flash's Clayton, we had our own thing. I don't know why. I felt like, you know, Flash did some like weird. I feel like Flash did like some weird shit years ago, so that's why I wasn't really fucking with him. But it's all like, at the end of the day, it's all petty bullshit, bro. That I feel like it's just, it takes more energy to keep this shit going. This negative, you know, it takes more energy to be negative than to be positive. It don't take nothing to be like, hey, how are you doing? Hey, have a good day. You know, how's your family? You know, are you all right? That takes way less energy than, man, fuck you, I don't like you, you're a bitch, man, if I see you, da-da-da-da. Like, it's just corny, bro. Like, to me, that's super duper lame, and that's not what I'm about, bro. I just want to publicly say, you know, everybody, you know, that I've ever had, even Crime Apple, bro. Like, Crime Apple, what's his name? Crime Apple and I forgot who. Al Davino's a different story. Now, Crime Apple, I could drop that because I really felt like Crime Apple stole my style, but we could talk about that later. These are problems that it's not a problem, it's an issue. So if I ever see Crime Apple, we're gonna talk about it. It's not gonna be no, rah shit, because it's not there. Now Davino and I don't know if it's SD Knack with him, but specifically Davino and Uncle John or Ankle John, what's his name? I buy albums from them, and they never sent me the albums, so they stole from me. Now that's a little bit of a different issue, bro, because I asked for my money, and my money was never returned for me, and I never got the albums that I paid for. Even with the whole shit with Mock, I bought an album from Mock, I got an album from Mock, so I have to salute Mock Hami whenever I can. Davino and Uncle John, I don't know, man. These people are moving weird, man. I'm not even gonna assume that I was the only one that got money stolen from, because they're fucking, they're people who live off the fast money. They live off the fast clout, and that's what they do. Their whole image, their whole aesthetic is being, in my opinion, kind of like weird. So when you move weird, you do weird things like steal from people and that you inspired, and you don't give money back, which is fucking lame, bruh. So whenever I see them, we're gonna have to just have that conversation. It's not gonna be no crazy shit. Just gonna have a real brief conversation. Yeah, I did get burned for some money, but I know how to burn people back in the same way. So it's just about being more positive, living in a better life. And even though they stole from me, I'm not walking around like, man, these motherfuckers stole from me, damn. Fucking man, yeah. Like, nah, man, it is what it is. It's like, thank you, bro, for letting me know who you are. Like, I'm not gonna support you anymore. Who the person, who I thought was a stand-up, I was listening to, and you just have this image of your idols in your head, and then it gets broken in half by bullshit. It's really fucking lame for artists to be doing that. So if you're up and coming artist, don't ever steal. If you're gonna steal from other people. Don't steal from your fans, because that's gonna be the quickest way. And I'm not saying stealing is okay. Stealing is wrong. But I'm just saying, if you're over here stealing from your own fans, that's the quickest way to just burn out. Like who the fuck, what, name one big artist that was stealing from their own fans. Like, that's some Nixon shit, bruh. So don't do that, bruh. So squashing all the beefs, I just wish everybody peace and blessings. I don't want to do anything to nobody. I have no desire to be in this, repetitive cycle of life and death that these other rappers get into. I'm forever gonna pay homage and respect my peers and air out the issues whenever I feel like I need to, publicly and privately, because there's a lot of behind the scenes shit that I'm not going to speak about, because it's behind the scenes shit. Whenever I need to address something publicly, I feel I'm going to address it publicly. Bam Margera went missing. Apparently, he was at a rehab. He left. The cops found him at some bar, and everything is going to be all right with Bam. Shout out to Bam Margera. He wasn't in the new Jackass movie. I don't know why. Everybody who needs help, everybody who has problems with addiction or whatever, they should just kind of put everything on hold to just deal with it. Whether you're sick in the head, you're addicted, you have issues with other people, you have anger issues, you should kind of just chill the fuck out. Like, they do this quarantine shit. Why is quarantine only applied to people who can get other people sick? Like, how about, like, if you're just like an asshole, how about you quarantine yourself and you stay the fuck away from people, because that spreads, bro. Negativity spreads, sickness spreads. I feel like people are sponges, and people are like dominoes. So if you're around people who are just burnouts, you're gonna get burned, bro. You're gonna get burned the fuck up being around these people that just don't serve nothing good to you, no positivity, no sort of kind of sanctuary or respite from the world, because the world is full of like just negative things if that's what you're attracting. But it's going to be all around regardless. You're going to have it around you all the time, anytime, and you just gotta be you got to know where to say, this is not what I want to do. I'm going to do something else, which is if what Bam Margera was doing, leaving the rehab, and he said he wanted to do like another rehab, like go to another rehab, then that's fine, bro. Like at least he's not trying to run away from his problems. You know, he's actually taking responsibility. I mean, running away is kind of weird, but you know, you got to do it right. You got to go through the process, but you just kind of got to thug it out from these things, brother. These trials and tribulations you have in your life, you can't run from them, bro. You can't blame other people. You can't run from your problems. You got to face them head on, and you got to accept responsibility for your actions and deal with them, negative or positive. You got to deal with it. Whatever backlash comes with it, however you feel you don't like it, well, guess what, bro? That's just the process, and you have to abide by the healing process. You got to heal. There's a lot of people out here that are hurt. There's a lot of people that they don't have no direction. They don't have no sort of insight, no vision. They're just going around life like a fucking zombie, bro. And you just got to be on your square. You got to let that shit go. You got to let people who are self-destructive, you just got to let them self-destruct, or let them figure out whatever it is they need to figure out, which is very, very interesting because Flakko was on No Jumper, Poetic Flakko. He's the newest No Jumper host or whatever, and he gets spit on by some rapper. I forgot who. I'm so sorry. It's like 16 shots or something like that. I don't know. I forgot. But basically, he was provoking this. I don't know if he's in the streets, but he's like a I don't know if he's a gangster rapper, but bruh, if you're talking, if you live in the streets, the street life, and somebody disrespects you, you have to reciprocate that energy, bro. And Flakko was being disrespectful to this man. He got spit on, and then Flakko tried to get up, like if he was gonna do something. AD had to come in and break it up. I thought that was really corny, bro. Like, Flakko, you talk all this shit about being a pussy. You talk this shit about black on black crime. Yet the first moment a fucking another black man spit on you because you're being extra, you want to get extra with him, and you want to be on this gangster shit when you fucking told people publicly you're square. That's the shit people are talking about with this whole Flakko situation. He's from like fucking Wisconsin or whatever. Like, they don't got no gang members over there, bruh. And then you around real gangsters talking about gangster shit, being disrespectful. Bruh, you already know where that, people have told you, AD's already told you where that could lead you, bruh. You in LA, wherever the fuck you are, you by LA, you in the gang capital of the world, not the US, not North America, not the Northern Hemisphere. You in the gang capital of the world. There's like over 2,000 gangs in LA or whatever. You can't be talking crazy like this, bro. You really can, bro, because they're not trying to tell you. We're not trying to tell you this because you're fucking. We're trying to be mean or we're trying to bully you. We're trying to tell you because a lot of people say fuck this person, fuck that person, they act reckless, and then they get shot. They get stabbed, they get beat the fuck up, which is what would have happened if you got crazy with the homie because he spit on you. What was supposed to happen is you got spit on, AD didn't do nothing, you got in his face, and you would have got beat the fuck up right then and there, or worse later on. The homie wasn't even trying to take it there. He was trying to be as calm and collected as he was, like Gina said. But Flakko's just over here being fucking crazy about shit, about a conversation, bro. Like, this wasn't about no street shit. This wasn't about no personal shit. This was just a conversation between two men that Flakko being one of them, he just took it like too far, bro. You don't tell nobody You don't invite nobody to the Frank stand, bro. You don't tell nobody S my D, because that is the quickest way. Like, fools get killed over that, bro. You really shouldn't be saying things like that. If you're gonna be interviewing somebody, asking them questions, and then as soon as you feel like you're threatened, or your ego is bruised or whatever, you tell them to S your D. That's not the way you should be handling it, bro. And I feel like Flakko shouldn't be on No Jumper anymore. I feel like not that he should be fired, but he should be demoted from like co-host to cameraman or something like that. I feel like some of the blame does go for Adam, but Adam's not up there talking that crazy shit. Adam's pretty neutral. He asks neutral questions. He's not trying to get involved with no street shit, no beef shit. Adam 22 is strictly there to produce content, do his own thing, bro, which is not what Flakko's trying to do. He's trying to like do this DJ Academics. Like, Academics birthed a lot of weirdos on the internet, bro, which I don't like. Why talk about shit that you're not involved in, bro? You know, didn't your mom ever tell you, mind your business? Don't stick your nose where it don't belong. Academics is over here talking about real killers in Chicago, the real drill rappers, real shit that he shouldn't be speaking on, bruh. And I know, like, Trap Lord Ross is another one, but he's a little different. Like, he kind of gets all the facts and brings, like, the whole story to you, where I feel like Academics, he makes jokes about it. He clowns shit. Flakko does the same thing, and that's wrong, bro. Like, how could you make fun of people who are really out here getting their lives endangered every day, just walking home from school, just fucking going to eat a meal with they girl or something like that, and you on the internet talking about, oh, you see what happened to this guy? He got beat up outside of his neighborhood, and you're like, really, bro? Like, this is the shit that's funny to y'all? It's funny? It's always funny until it happens to you, bruh. You live in one of these gang-infested neighborhoods that Academics talks about. You live in one of these neighborhoods where you get beat the fuck up for saying certain things, wearing certain colors, talking about certain shit, or just getting banged on, and we'll see how funny that shit is. We'll laugh at you and see how you like that shit. Because a lot of people like Flakko, they don't see that. They're out of towners. They're not from the culture. They come over here. They think they could talk crazy to whoever. And people like AD have to squash this shit on No Jumper's behalf, because that's not Flakko's platform. If Flakko had his own platform, he could talk crazy. He could do whatever they want. No one gives a fuck. But when it's a whole brand, a whole platform that Flakko speaking on behalf of, then certain shit has to be dealt with in a certain way. So all you kids out there, man, just leave the streets alone, bruh. If you a square, especially if you like a square, just, fucking read a book or something, bruh. Just stay out of this shit, bruh. It's not, and I'm not being a part of it either. And I wouldn't consider, I'm a square, but I wouldn't consider myself like a super duper starburst square, like some of y'all out of towners out here, bro. Like, I've been around some shit. I've seen shit, and I've seen things, bro. So I know how to move. I know what it's like to be around people. You gotta watch your mouth. You gotta watch the things that you say, because they will come back and bite you, bro. Promise you. So just leave the streets alone. All the kids listening, just do something else, bro. Fucking collect Pokemon cards like me. Collect Funko Pops. Play the PlayStation, do something, go spend time with your family or something like that, because the streets, they're going to tell you, bruh, sometimes they don't want this shit to happen to you, bruh. And that's really all I got to say about that. Let's talk about living your lyrics. So, somebody told me, I don't know if you live your lyrics. Well, guess what? Living your lyrics is fucking corny. I don't know why some people, they just want to hear street shit, and then they want to believe that shit. Like what do you want me to get like indicted? Do you want me to catch a case? I don't understand what the fuck is going on. Entertainment versus snitching on yourself. Let's talk about it. Me, I want to entertain the audience. I've been through some things, seen a lot of places, seen a lot of faces, been a lot of places, you know what I mean? And I could talk I could talk certain street shit because I've lived certain street shit. I'm not saying I'm a super thug. I'm not saying I'm a super gangster. I've never told anybody I've even advocated to just let gang shit go, bro. I'm not a gang member, but I know the way some of this shit works, and I like to rap about it from my perspective. That's all it is. When some rappers talk about being the biggest drug dealer in the West, talk about being the biggest killer wherever, that shit's corny, bro. Like, you was never that, bro. And you talking about it like you can't get killed, can't get touched. And I feel like people just listen to too many Gucci Mane or Griselda tracks, bro. That's never been me either, bro. Like, I try to give it a balance, bro. I try to talk about the highs and lows. Or if I do talk about like strictly machismo shit, it's like, you know, it has, you know, Serbs isn't a person. Like, I have a real name, and Serbs is like an identity. It's like the alter ego. It's the persona. You know, that's the music that I make under that name, but it's not me as a person, bruh. And some of these fucking idiots, some of these kids that really want you to live their shit, that live your lyrics, is fucking lame, bruh. Like, I think it's really corny when you talk about shit that really happened and then the lyrics end up being used against you in court. And you know, I think it happened with YNW Melly. It happened with Lil TJ or TK or whatever his name is. That's fucking lame, bro. Why do we have to live our lyrics? Entertainment versus snitching. I'm going to entertain the audience as much as I can and talk about real shit, but I'm not going to snitch on nobody. I'm not going to say, yeah, you know, it was me and the homie, and fucking bitches don't know me. It had the gun and it flamed like filet me. You know, it's like, I'm not gonna be talking about a ABC story that really happened, bro, because the cops is listening, the cops is watching, they out there, bro. They want to fucking find these bodies, and they're gonna use social media, they're gonna use all the tools they have, bro. It's just corny when you talk about it in your music that could really get you locked up, or your friends or your people that you love locked up. So living your lyrics is corny. I'm going to make my music to the best of my ability. I'm going to make the music the way I want to make it. And nobody could tell me shit, bruh. If you want to think that I'm this or that or whatever, that's fine, bruh. How you think about me ain't none of my business, bruh. I don't give a fuck, bruh. I don't really care about other people's opinions. I'm going to live my life whether the way you like it or not. I'm going to make my music whether you like it or not. I'm going to talk about my perspective on my show because that's what I'm going to do. And you're not going to tell me otherwise. You know why? Because this is the God's hour.
Mad Max was the turnout of my lifestyle. Smoking green, blowing white clouds to fill the blue skies. Conversating with the gods by my wildflower to let them know that it's the God's hour. This love's the never-ending saga. Gods by my wildflower to let them know that it's the God's hour. This love's the never-ending saga. Gods by my wildflower to let them know that it's the God's hour. This love's the never-ending saga. Gods by my wildflower to let them know that it's the God's hour. This love's the never-ending saga. Walk through the sands of times like Gara. On the other side of that gad is karma. You wet Prada, the devil lay inside your box now while the angels fly over my headstone.